All I'm gonna say is I have dated multiple people with significant Scorpio placements, but especially Scorpio moon. So, I'm kind of a first-hand pro at this point. Hola, my beautiful lotus flowers. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're into nerding out on everything astrology, spirituality, and self-transformation, this is a community for you. Today is all about the Scorpio moon sign. If you're not quite sure what the moon sign is specifically, be sure to watch this video for more detail, but I'll give you a brief summary for the sake of watching this video. Your moon sign is basically who you are at your deepest core. It's your instinctual reactions, your deepest emotions, your deepest desires, and helps us determine what we need to truly feel fulfilled in life. Whereas our sun sign governs our more egotistical nature, and our rising sign is our outermost presence in the world around us. We're going to start off by talking about some general traits of somebody with a Scorpio moon sign. Then we're going to talk about the deepest emotions and desires that the Scorpio moon may go through that nobody else knows about. Then we're going to talk about what a Scorpio moon sign truly needs in life to feel fulfilled, so be sure that you stay tuned for that. First, we'll talk about some of the general traits of somebody with a Scorpio moon sign. If you don't know already, Scorpio is the fixed water sign that is ruled by Pluto and actually co-ruled by Mars as well. And I'm going to break down how each of these play into someone having a Scorpio moon sign specifically. We'll start with the element, having a moon in a water sign. Having the moon in a water sign always creates extreme emotional depth and an almost intuitive-like ability because the moon is actually at home in Cancer. It's at home in a water sign. Even though there is friction between moon and Pluto, this is going to emphasize the power of the intuition in this individual. So they're going to have a really good radar in telling if somebody is lying, being inauthentic, or keeping something from them. This makes it extremely hard for somebody with a Scorpio moon to generally trust anybody. So if you are in a relationship with, or friends with, or just in contact with somebody you know has a Scorpio moon, it's always best to be as open and as honest as possible with them, because if not, they will know. But having this moon in the water sign also means that when they do find someone they really love, they have such super deep, intricate emotions, and they really do crave that intimacy with somebody. They just keep very few spots available for those people in their lives. On top of that, having such a natural attunement to their intuition makes them really good at keeping from being manipulated. Now let's talk about the specific effect of Pluto when coming into contact with the moon placement. Pluto is commonly known as the planet of rebirth, darkness, secrets, truth, and huge karmic transformation. This causes someone with a Scorpio moon to feel things in intense extremes, like extremely intense. Either they're super happy or they are super down in the darkest emotions they could possibly have. And because of these extreme emotional depths, they honestly will have a hard time articulating this to other people. Not that they really want to tell this to most people, but if they do have someone they feel comfortable confiding in, they're just going to have a really hard time explaining themselves, and they often don't even understand their own emotions fully. Despite this emotional extremity that they go through internally, you would almost never know. They are very good at keeping composed despite their extreme emotional turbulence inside. This is kind of different from somebody with like a Cancer moon, for example. Cancer moons can be a lot more emotionally expressive and kind of don't really hold back, but Scorpio moons are so focused on being more private. They really like to feel like they're in control of themselves. And so even if they don't feel controlled internally, they will make sure they look like they're in control to everybody else. The strong influence of Pluto mixed with the water element and the moon also gives this person a very alluring presence and makes them very mysterious, secretive, and makes a lot of people want to get to know them. They want to crack that emotional shell and open up and see see for themselves what it is that the Scorpio moon is hiding. Now, bringing the fixed modality into this, the fixed modality means that this person tends to have more of a stable, persistent, and kind of stubborn nature about them. So the way that this translates into the Scorpio moon is this is what helps them seem so composed. So first of all, like we talked about before, you don't really know how much emotional turbulence goes on inside of them because they don't really show it. They really like to look in control. And this is partially because of the fixed modality taking precedence over this Scorpio moon sign. This is also why they love to feel in control. They do not like to hand over control to anybody. They like to know that they are in power, they can control what's happening. It just gives them a sense of power and comfort and confidence as well. In addition to that, the fixed quality makes someone with a Scorpio moon really persistent and determined to achieve whatever it is that they set their sights to. And a lot of times this is going to translate into more their emotional side of life. So for example, if they have someone they really love, then the Scorpio moon's probably going to really go full throttle for that. Or if they truly love their family and those are the people that they hold valuable, then they're probably going to really dedicate whatever it is in their life to their family. And no matter what you tell them, they're not going to give up. Even if they have to figure it out on their own, that what they're doing is not going to work, just let them figure it out on their own. Because again, being a fixed sign and in the sign of the Scorpio moon, it's going to make them not back down and feel extremely passionate about whatever they love. If you're a Scorpio moon sign or know somebody who is, make sure you leave a comment down below letting me know so I know that you're watching. And be sure you don't forget to give this video a like for me and hit the subscribe and the bell button. Now let's reveal some of the deepest secrets, emotions, and desires that someone with a Scorpio moon may have. First and foremost, one of the most important things is that they go through extreme emotional polarities all the time. There is not really any in between with them. This usually manifests in their own lives as extremely dramatic emotional life cycles. For example, someone with a Scorpio moon will be having a pretty stable period in their life, but then something extremely drastic or a series of very drastic events will play out that will cause a complete turnover in their life, especially emotionally. So this might translate into family life, into their intimate relationships, friendships, and it might cause a lot of emotional turmoil and cause them to go through a huge internal transformation. And this stems from Pluto's influence clashing with the emotional nature of the moon. It's going to mean that Pluto's karmic transformations are going to take place in this person's emotional life. This can be really tough and isolating for somebody with a Scorpio moon because even if they do want to talk to someone, like I mentioned earlier, it's so hard for them to articulate and fully express their own emotions to somebody. As much as they want to, a lot of times they don't understand it fully themselves. And if they try to explain the depth of it, a lot of people won't understand them. It'll take a very special person to understand what they're going through. And a lot of times they make it mistaken as dramatic or maybe even a little bit insane. But this also doesn't necessarily have to manifest in the Scorpio moon's own life. It can also manifest in somebody that the Scorpio moon is close to, where a huge emotional transformation or huge life cycle happens and somebody that the Scorpio moon gets close to. Second is that Scorpio moons are not afraid of the darker, more mysterious aspects of the world. Pluto's influence on the moon, once again, really has an impact on the Scorpio moon's interests. So a lot of times someone with a Scorpio moon is going to have a natural interest in the more mystical or scarier things in life. Having an interest in the scarier or darker things in the world can translate into many things. It can take the form of what they love in their sex life. Maybe they're into some taboo erotic things, or maybe they love horror films, everything having to do with horror. Maybe they love the supernatural, or they love everything that has to do with esoteric occult practices. It can really take a lot of forms, but anything that's kind of on the more mystical side of life or the darker side of life Oftentimes, a Scorpio moon has a strong interest in one of these, if not all of these. Third is someone with a Scorpio moon may be prone to struggling with addictions, which stems from a feeling of never being fully satisfied with life. Whether the addiction is to sex, drugs, alcohol, etc., Scorpio moons are prone to experiencing this because of those emotional extremes that they go through. It's so hard for them to handle. And like I mentioned earlier, they can become extremely isolated and sad and lonely because of it, which may then lead them into addictive tendencies. And not only that, again, like we also mentioned, they go through repeated transformative cycles that are super destructive and super powerful in their lives. And even though these cycles are often very necessary and have a very powerful light at the end of the tunnel, the Scorpio moon may let these cycles eat away at them. And because of that, they're going to try and fill their despair, fill that black hole that they feel inside of them with an addiction. Now, the really important part. Let's talk about what a Scorpio moon needs in their life to feel fulfilled. First, having the moon in the Scorpio water sign means that this person needs a safe haven that they can go to at the end of the day to be alone. For most people, this is their home life. They like to have, a private home, especially Scorpio moons. Being more secret and private is going to be very important to them. The home is usually the best place for a Scorpio moon to have their own safe haven, their own escape, their own little paradise away from everyone and everything. Second, with all of the emotional craziness that a Scorpio moon tends to experience within themselves and around themselves because of these transformations and cycles, they honestly value peace and tranquility over a lot of things. They don't ask to go through the things that they go through. It's just a natural life process for them. So it's going to be very important that they do make sure that there's certain things they can control that impact their positive environment when they're not going through all the craziness. For example, people that they hang around, it's going to be very important that they find positive, peaceful people to hang around, people that are very grounded and down to earth, and people who are also very willing to listen and try and understand the Scorpio moon sign when they go through the things that they go through. Third is they must maintain a way to spiritually ground themselves every single day. Yes, their environment matters, and picking and choosing who they hang around and the environments they put themselves in is great, but they also need to make sure that they're grounding themselves internally so they can take on all the turbulence in the best way possible and they don't fall into those emotional addictive tendencies. I mean, I could suggest certain spiritual practices, but it's all going to depend on the person, whatever the Scorpio moon feels comfortable doing. For me, some of my spiritual grounding practices are meditation and journaling, so be sure that you find something to do every day that helps bring inner peace and tranquility. This is going to ultimately help the Scorpio moon balance those extreme polarities that are happening internally all the time. Again, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to leave a thumbs up and hit the subscribe and the bell, as well as leave a comment if you are a Scorpio moon. You can also hop over to the LaBlue Lotus Facebook community where we talk more about astrology, spirituality, and using those for self-transformation. And if you're interested in more of what I do day to day and other astrology posts, head over to my Instagram at Marisa LaBlue and watch these videos if you haven't already to continue your astrological and spiritual journey. I look forward to seeing you next time. Adios.